You know, during Christmas period when uncles and aunties would visit and they would shake you and just like give you, I don't know, 1,000 naira or maybe 500 naira, and that was like my first experience with money. I mean, this is, way more money than I imagined that I would be making at this age. Like, I don't know, 5 years ago, I would not have imagined this. Italy was something that was fun, so I don't regret it. It was also something that shook me financially. I think I wish I knew about investment earlier because I was just saving the money in a bank. I was getting 1% interest.
Hi guys, my name is Maryam and today we're going to be talking about finance, and I have a nice guest today. She's my friend, I would say. Do I want to give you a background of how I met you? No, I don't want to.
Feel free.
Oh, we met at a games event. I think, the one.
The first one,
the first one. Yeah, and she came for like the first one. And then she came and she was like looking all so cute and everything. I was like, where is this girl? I think then, I'm not going to share it now, but you asked the question. I don't know if you remember.
Really? I don't think I remember.
Yeah, like to the people that were attending the games.
What did I say?
Do you want me to say it there?
I asked the question.
I can blurt it out after if I say the question.
I asked the question. Yeah. The question was asked
like
to me.
There were like some things going on in your mind and you were thinking hard about them. And then
really?
You asked the question. Yeah.
What did I say? Remind me.
We were like, if you were in a situation in which you have a job, right? But you haven't finished your education, would you go back and study again?
I asked that question. That was so long ago.
Yeah,
I never cared.
And then I was like, but you have a job now and you're working. I was like, yeah. And I was like, well, I don't know if you really need to go back to school or something.
I don't think I remember that.
I'm sure you can.
I just like talking, like.
Yeah, it was such a random way. Like that was like literally like anytime I think about you, that's the first thing.
Really?
That like no like so that was like what's like stood out to me because like, why is she asking this random?
No, that is literally how I live my life. I'm like random question, fun fact. That's it. Yeah,
and I was like, why is she asking the question? But then I was like interested and this and that question always like stuck to me because I was like, well, honestly, like, what would you have been your answer? Would you have gone back to school?
I think I answered this question differently depending on the day.
Okay, today is Sunday, hopefully.
Would I have gone back to school?
Yeah.
If I didn't have a job? Or what?
No, like, let's say you didn't finish school. And you have a job and you feel like you're doing okay or this. Yeah. Do you feel like, oh my God, I'm incomplete. I need to go and finish something.
On some days I feel like that. And I also like I didn't see the need for a degree while I was in Nigeria.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's a thing to have that can open more doors for you and give you access to more opportunities. And while a lot of people might not use it right now, and I think it can be good to have. It's a nice to have, in my opinion. And also if you want to like specialize in something else, because I've been looking into mobile security for a while and I want to do a master's in it, but I can't do the master's unless I have a degree. So I've been thinking about it, but then it's from time to time. Another day I might be like, the degree.
Well, I have a question.
Yeah.
I actually don't know what mobile security is.
It's like app security, kind of like how to secure mobile applications. So for example, like payment apps have to follow a particular set of standards and rules and regulations. And so you can't just like freestyle it if you're gonna accept payments on a phone. So the app needs to be very secure, how you communicate with the backend, how you communicate with other applications on the phone. It needs to be encrypted. It needs to have a lot of keys and cryptography and stuff like that. And it's very interesting, and that's what I'm working on right now. So it's very fascinating as well. So I would like to explore that someday.
Are you having fun?
Yeah, it's super fun. It's also like very intense, I would say. And it's like, oh my God, this is like such big information that I never thought I would have to deal with. I'm like, I just want to design apps, but it is what it is. It's super fun and I enjoy it.
Interesting. And what do you do right now?
I am a software engineer. I'm an app developer.
What does that mean? Let's say you're talking to like a 5-year-old and you want to tell them like in one sentence, what do I do? What you do? What would you say?
I built a 5-year-old. I would probably liken it to like games. I would say when you have an app on your phone or your mom's phone, and there's a game on it, I work on things like that. I work on messaging apps, like when you want to talk to a grandparent or something and you have to FaceTime, I can build something like that. And those are called applications, and I build those as well. So
Nice.
that's how I would describe it to a 5-year-old.
And did you always know you were going to become a software engineer?
Did I always know? I don't think so. I think like my dream job, so to say, when I was younger, I wanted to be a vet doctor because I really liked animals, and that's what I wanted to do till I was, I think, 15 or so. And then at 15, I was done with secondary school, and then I wanted to go to uni, but no uni that was doing vet medicine was, I think I was in like SS2 to 3, and then I was like writing WIAC. I needed to pick something to study, but at the time there were no schools. I think only UI was doing vet medicine, and they only accepted 16, like 16 and above.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like, okay, fine, I will go to, and my sister was in OAU, so I was like, fine, I'll go there. But at that time, I was like, I'm not really sure what I want to do now, actually. Then I was talking to a friend of my sister who is a software engineer as well, is a full stack engineer. And it was basically saying, oh, if you heard about, programming, you can use it to do whatever you want. And you can even like go into the medicine field if that's what you want to do later on, like biomedical, whatever. And it's very broad, you know. And I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And I did. And 7 years later?
And you're still here?
Here we are, I guess. Yeah, but I wasn't really actively doing anything at that time. I was just interested in it. I started learning, I think, 2018. Yeah, started like learning.
How old were you when you were learning 2018?
16.
Really?
Yeah.
So wait, if you were in OAU, were you studying like...
I was studying computer science.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I was studying computer science and maths.
Math?
Yeah. I actually really like maths.
So you were studying computer science.
I was.
And you were doing... Wait, did they teach you programming when you were studying computer science? Or you had to learn that?
Sure. I mean, I don't think anything that they taught us could qualify. Like, you have to do your side stuff, which is what I was doing as well. Sure, they taught you, but it wasn't how do you say it, significant enough to get you a job in the tech industry or actually help you learn life skills. They were teaching you like stuff from, I don't know, 2013 or something. So it was
I understand
very old stuff.
I can imagine. I understand.
Yeah.
So how did you go then? So I'm guessing for that you had to like do some extracurricular learning on your own with the programming. So did you just start learning on YouTube? You took an online course, or you had someone who was...
No, it was kind of YouTube. And did I read anything? No, I didn't read anything. YouTube videos, Udemy courses, Udacity courses, and there was also this particular blog that was like focused on Android, Ray Wenderlich, and that's just how I learned, just courses here and there. And I think I did a boot camp once with Shikot Africa, and I had a mentor for like 3 months then, and we're still cool. And and that's just how I learned, just picking up things from there and trying things out by yourself, building things out, stuff like that.
That's really very interesting. I mean, you must be like a very good learner, because I don't think I'm one of those people that like just, read stuff and learn. I have to be like in a class and somebody's telling me, teaching. Like, I feel like I'm one of those like people that have to be in a class.
In the class.
Yeah, like, because maybe I'm bad with like learning things personally. Like, if you have to like push yourself.
Yeah.
I envy that about you. I'm curious.
Mm-hmm.
How did we go from studying computer science, learning programming, to coming to Netherlands?
To be honest, there was no like switch like that. It was just after I don't even know how to say like which one is my first job or not. So my very, very first job, like first paid job, was a 3-month internship. And then after that, and it was remote with an Indian company. And then it was like, I think 20K.
As in Naira?
Naira, of course.
20?
It was like 20K naira or something, but I was so excited. And so it was during the lockdown. It was like May to July or something.
Yeah.
And I was so excited. It was like, oh my God, like this is money. I mean, how much was I getting? Okay, I was getting like a lot from home at that point, but I was still like, I was at home with my parents, with my sister. We're locked in together. I'm like, okay, finally, I can do something. And I'm still in touch with that person. He's so nice, such a nice guy. And then my second job was also an internship, but it was a bit higher level. It was for 6 months. And that one paid very nicely, I would say. And then after that, that ended 2021, December. So I was kind of looking for another remote job because I was like, okay, I'm in school. I was doing the internship full-time with school full-time. So it was very hard. So I took like a month break and then I'm like, okay, I want something else, something to do. I want another job. And I started looking and I was mainly looking for remote jobs, but then I learned about my current company and saw the product that we're building and it was really interesting. And I was like, okay, I'm going to apply for it. And I did and I passed and now I'm here. And then I don't know, it's a bit of I want to say that I didn't think too deeply into it.
It just happened. It just went through.
It just kind of happened.
Yeah.
I'm like, I kind of just made a pro-con list and I'm like, okay, school, not that important to me. This job seems fun. I want to do it. Okay, I'm going to do that instead.
Okay, so you left school to do your current job then?
Yes,
At that moment when you're making the decision, how was it? Was it easy? Was it difficult?
It was an easy decision.
It was an easy decision.
Yeah.
And do you sometimes like look back and regret it, or you're like, you know what, it's part of life? Or how do you feel about decision in general?
No, I don't regret it. I'm still proud of the decision. I think it was a smart move. And yeah, I don't regret it one bit.
I like to hear that.
Thanks.
Because, people are always like, there's always like this conversation like, oh, is school important? Is school not important? And this thing. So it's like having someone who is like, I tried it. Yeah, it's refreshing to have like a different perspective. Like, I tried it. I saw it wasn't for me, and I went another path because like if you come from Nigeria, there's this idea that at least I don't know how it is now, but like maybe when I was growing up, there's this idea that if you're not going to school, it means like you're just wasting your life. Like your life is over. Like you're just wandering around hopelessly. So that's why I know this already, but I'm asking you the question just to see like how has that decision like affected you, changed you? Like, are you confident in it and you feel like it was the right decision and you did answer the question, which was what I wanted to know?
It was the right decision.
Yeah.
I do think that people should think about it because I would not leave school if I didn't have a fallback, like a job. Like, I would not just be like, oh, I'm tired. I don't want to do this anymore. That is not a smart thing to do. So, but I had this and thankfully it worked out good for me. And it's still working out good. So I'm happy about that.
I'm happy you did mention, like, at least before you decide to leave school, you think about it. You don't say, Zainab left school, you worked out for her. I'm about to
no. It's definitely a big decision, even though it didn't feel like that for me at the time. But it's definitely a big decision, and people shouldn't take it lightly. And
I agree.
Think about it.
Okay. Now that I have a background of you, I'm going to side back to this conversation.
Yes.
Where you said the first job you had was the 3-month internship. Was that like the first job you had that was paying you and you were earning money?
No, it was the first job that I had that was also paying me and I was earning money.
Yeah, but before then, was there something else that was giving you money?
My parents.
Okay, aside your parents, but that was your first job.
That was my first job.
How did that feel, having your first 20K?
It was like, I mean, my parents were giving me more than 20K, but it was like, oh, I earned this. Like, I felt very proud. And now that I look back at the apps that I was building then, I'm like, this is so shitty. Like,
it was a rip-off.
No. I was like, how did this guy pay me for this? This is rubbish. Like, it was so bad. But, I feel like then I felt very proud of myself. I felt very accomplished, very self-made. Also, I was in, 2020, I was in part 2, I think. And, almost nobody in my class was making money at that time. So it felt very fancy, very big.
Like, I'm making money. Somebody's paying me to build an app, to do things.
So it feels very, very nice in that sense.
And prior to that, like, how far back would you like, can you remember your first experience with money? Like whether it was given to you by your parents or maybe it's from the 20K, like how far back did you think, oh, I have money?
I think I remember from, maybe this is not like, a job or anything, but I remember from like, during Christmas period when uncles and aunties would visit and they would shake you and just like give you, I don't know, 1,000 naira or maybe 500 naira, and that was like my first experience with money. And then my mother would take it from me and say, no, we have to use it to contribute to the house, whatever, and you are eating, so you have to give me the money. That was my first experience with money, so not good. I will talk to my therapist about that. But I think that was my first experience with money. My first experience with making money was, like I said, the job. And it was also very, chill, I guess. Yeah, I think so. There wasn't any, like, panic.
Yeah.
I wasn't, like, rich growing up, but we were comfortable, I would say. So there was no panic moment, like, oh my God, I'm making money. What do I do right now?
Yeah.
It was just like, oh, I have this. Maybe not the best attitude to have with money because I didn't really like think of it, and I wasn't intentional with it, but it was 20K. What do I want to do with 20K?
But do you think you can remember what you did with it? The first one, not like the first one you received. What did you do with
First
it?
money I received.
Your first 20K, what did you do with it?
I bought a bag. Seriously, I bought a school bag.
Oh, it's school bag. I feel like maybe handbag.
No. I'm not big with handbags because like I have my laptop. So I bought a school bag, and it was this big. It's actually a very popular school bag, like this big school bag that kind of comes in like beige. Do you know it? Maybe it was before after your time or something, but it was very, very popular.
Really?
It's very popular. It comes in like beige or something. Like everybody was using it.
I think for me, after like GS3, school bags were no longer cool. So you had to buy like a tote bag.
No.
Like
I
was
still use
somewhere.
a school bag.
Do you know, because of that, like I finally had to use a school bag.
Oh wow.
Because like after like GS3, like it was no longer cool to have a school bag. So you had to like use a tote bag, which when I think back at it, I'm like, it was so like inconvenient. Like there was no reason I had to go through that.
Yeah. Because
you have to hang it and then your shoulder is hanging down, but you're like, no, I have to look cool. Like I need to use the school bag. So like this thing, interesting. I used all the money for that.
No. The school bag was like 6K or something. But that was like something significant that I did
for you. And did that make you happy?
That made me very happy because I'm like, yes, I bought a bag. But I can't remember what I did with the rest. I probably just like went out or something and had something to eat.
And would you say money is important?
Yes, definitely. The only people that say money is not important are people that have money. Only rich people say money is not everything.
Can you remember like the first time you realized? Because I feel like as a child, you don't really, at least for me, I don't really think about money like, oh, money, it's important. Like, it's like you grow up, like you need like maybe there's always Indomie in the house, there's always this thing in the house. So you never really thought about where are they coming from? So for me, it's like, my question is, what was like the first time you thought, oh shit, money is important, I need to have some?
I would say for me, it came very, very early. I think I've always kind of felt like that. I don't want to like reveal too much about like my personal life or my parents or anything, but I will say growing up, there were times that we needed money for something and we didn't have it. And I felt, okay, yeah, I need this. Money is important. And also because I'm a soft girl, I like the soft life. So I knew that I wanted to, make my own money and make enough of it so that I can buy whatever I wanted. And I think I've always known that. So for me, it wasn't really like a thing that I didn't think about. But I mean, obviously I didn't have to worry too much about it until a fun fact, actually, when I was in part, I think 3, like 2021, I told my folks to stop sending me money. I'm like, I'm good. Also because I wanted that financial independence from
your parents.
Exactly. Because with Nigerian parents, even though my parents are quite cool, but there's just that respect that is another level when they realize they're not sending you money.
When you're like, you're now your own.
Tell me anything.
They can't tell you what to do anymore.
Tell me what to do.
I wish I could tell that to my mother. But unless they tells me what to do.
Yeah, but for me, it was like, I want to get, I mean, they still offer their opinions, but they're very aware that it's their opinions, and
it doesn't change
it doesn't
how you
change
feel.
my decision or how I feel. And I respect their opinions, and of course I hear them out, whatever they have to say. When they try to talk to me about investing and saving and all, I'm like, thank you, I listen to you. No thank you though, but I think that's kind of how it always is with parents. They try to advise you and tell you the best of what they know, which is, really good, but it's like, this is not 2002. But still, you have to, do the best you can with how you are right now.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And you understanding how important money is and, your need for like having like, soft girl baby lifestyle. Did it affect like your career choices, or they were two different things entirely?
Wow, that's a good question. I would say that I'm glad that my career choices, have afforded me, I don't want to say lifestyle, but I'm glad that I am doing something that I truly enjoy and also makes me money.
Yeah.
So it's not like there's a divide where I have to think about, oh, there's this thing that I want to do, but there's no money there. And, there's this thing that I can do and it has money, but I wouldn't enjoy it. But I truly enjoy what I do, so I think it works out for me in that sense.
So you're having a soul time?
Having a soul. Most days.
Most days, yeah.
Today, having a soul time. Past week, not so much. Tomorrow, we'll see. But it's like every day is different, right?
And is it safe for me to assume that your current job now is like your first proper job in which we're not doing like an internship?
Exactly.
So this is like your first proper job, like in which like you are getting paid full time, like you're not adults and trying to like figure out this whole money thing. And how has that been so far? Your personal like journey with like figuring out your finances.
How much time do we have? There are so many layers to this, right? And there's the good, there's the bad, there's the ugly as well. And I mean, this is way more money than I imagined that I would be making. At this age, like, I don't know, 5 years ago, I would not have imagined this. Even though I did dream kind of big, but I still...
You didn't dream as big as this, or you dreamt just almost like this?
Yes, just a bit almost like this. And I've made, some bad decisions, some bad choices. But I think I'm at a place now where I am, at the very least, being much more intentional about the money I receive, how I spend it, and how I can maximize it. And I think that's good, because last year I was just like spending anyhow.
Enjoying yourself, because you can't be bothered.
Enjoying myself. And it's interesting because I still enjoy myself now. But it's like, I was watching a video, and it's like, when you start being intentional and conscious about your money, then you start thinking, what have I been spending on? Because seriously, like, I think there's an actual statistic that you cut down on like 20% of your expenses when you start being more intentional about your finances. And I'm like, what have I been spending on? Also, moving out of Amsterdam helped that out for me, because I used to live in center, right? And anytime I would go on a walk, my bank account would scream.
It's like hearing you, please don't.
Seriously, because I lived 5 minutes away from Kalverstraat, which is like the shopping street. So I would go, Zara, this is a nice store. I would go, Bershka, you know, dull. You can translate the Yoruba. But it was not good for me. But I think even if I was still living there now, with all the new knowledge that I have, I think I would learn how to, budget properly and not give in to my urges. That sounds so, sorry guys. But I think I'm at a better place now, but just last year was just me all over the place with my finances and not being intentional and not thinking about it as much. Like, I was saving, but I could have been doing more. But then that's the past. I heard something very nice. The best time to invest was 20 years ago. Second best time is now. And I think it's really good, like, that I'm at the very least, which is not all I'm doing, but at the very least, being more conscious, being more aware of how I spend my money and what my money goes into.
And you said last year your finances were all over the place, and now you're a bit more intentional.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, like, what happened between last year and now? Was there like a trigger? Was there something that like why the change? What happened?
I'm trying to decide if I should discuss the trigger. I would say there was a trigger, and I'm going to be a little bit vague because, yeah. But then it was a personal thing anyway. I would say the trigger involved just me spending on something that was not necessary, because I wanted to feel like included or something.
Yeah.
So the trigger was just, yeah, that was it. I was just spending on something that was not necessary, and it was a lot of money. And after that, I try not to think about how much it was. Maybe like, I don't want to. Do you want me to give numbers?
You can if you want.
I did something, and that is so vague, but I did something that was like 4K. And then after that, I just like sat down in my room and I was like, hey. No, I kid you not. That's how I was like,
what am I doing?
Exactly. So I was like, okay, you need to be better. And I think that was like the deciding factor. That was like the main trigger. So I was like, okay, this cannot happen again. Thankfully, like it's not like I made a habit of it. Like that was the only time that happened, that, such a huge amount happened. And I was like, okay, this is not good.
I shouldn't be doing this.
Should be doing.
So
I'll be doing this.
After then, did you like bring out an Excel sheet? Like, okay, let me see now.
I wish, but after then, it's interesting that after that happened, that was an unplanned expense. That one, but after that, I planned. This makes me sound so bad.
You tell me.
But I had planned a trip to Italy before that. Before that unplanned expense, and I was not going to let go of my plan. So after that, I could not do anything. I was like, okay, I'm gonna,
go to Italy.
I'm gonna go to Italy. And Italy was an amazing time. Like, so as I was saying, my trip to Italy was something that was planned, so I don't regret it. But it was also something that shook me financially. I don't think about the finances
anymore.
Like, if someone asks me like, how much did you spend on your trip to Rome? I'm like, don't worry about that. We don't talk about that. That is the forbidden topic.
So even on a finance show, you're not going to talk about how much you spent to Rome?
I don't think about it. Like, I don't think I have specifics because I tried to like calculate how much I was spending. And then the hotels that I stayed at, I think I stayed in like 5 different hotels. And at that point it was like more than 2K. And then I was like, no need to calculate this thing. It's fine. I'll be okay. So I don't think about it.
So based on what you've calculated, let me do the math. She spent more than 2K on hotels.
Yes.
And then she did this thing. So you said I spent around like 5K.
I don't think I spent up to 5K though. Wait, okay. If we're going to count things that I bought there as well.
I was counting that.
Okay, maybe 5K.
I was counting that.
Maybe 5K, yeah.
And when you came back from Rome, what did you do next? With your finances, I mean.
We were okay.
I know you were happy because you're still talking about Rome.
I was going to say, I was happy. I was looking at my pictures for days with my finances. I think I just wanted to slow down then. And I was like, okay, I did something, that was, a big thing. Like, it was a pretty big trip. It was over 2 weeks long. So I wanted to take it slow, didn't spend as much. I think since then I've been a bit more cautious. But I really actively started thinking about my finances in January. I came back from Italy in September. So October, November, December, I was a bit more careful, but I wasn't very intentional again. But since January, I have been, thinking more actively about it. And when I was thinking about my goals for the year, I, for the first time, had financial goals. And I was like, okay, this is, something I want to achieve. Although most of my financial goals were learning about finance. So, which is not quite the same, but still, I had a feel like, okay, I want to save this much. I want to invest this much. And yeah, it's interesting. I think my goals have shifted a bit since learning more about finances, but I think it's something that happens. Like, I don't believe that your goals in on January 1st are still the ones that you're going to carry through to the end of the year. So I have adjusted my goals a bit for the better. So that's good. And yeah, my finances are doing a bit better now
than last year.
Yeah.
I think that's good to hear. And you mentioned like you're educating yourself. And how have you done to, like, are you still educating yourself?
I am.
Yeah. And like, what have you been reading, learning, watching, whatever it is? Because I'm more of a watcher.
No, that makes sense. I think the very first thing that I did was talk to a friend who calls himself, it says he's like a finance bro, but he's a finance bro in his heart. So I think that's like the main way that I've been educating myself, just asking him questions, because we work together, and it's just someone that I feel safe talking about my finances with. And so I'm able to be open and transparent and just ask him a lot of questions. And he has been sending me so many resources. We had a very, very long conversation a couple of weeks ago, March. Yeah, it was just for my birthday, so it was like middle of March or something, like a month ago. And we had a very long conversation. I think we spent most of the day together, and we were just talking about finances and learning a lot. And he's also a very good teacher, so I was able to learn a lot in that short space. But something else that I learned is that you can't learn everything in that short space.
Yeah.
So he sent me a ton of resources. There are lots of YouTube videos. And there's also this website, Investopedia, which I think is super helpful. And it just talks about how to think about your finances, how to have the right attitude to finances, how to start investing early, and, you know, how to actually do it and why to do it. Investing in your 20s, how different is it from investing in your 30s or in your 40s? And what to invest in, stocks, bonds, portfolio. This is still something that I'm very, very new to, and something that I'm, constantly learning about every day. I still have like a ton of links that is sent to me that I have not clicked on, but that's how I would say I've been educating myself slowly. My plan for my finances this year was not really to be aggressive or to invest. It was just like, okay, learn about investing, dip your toes in. My plan was to start investing like 2K because I didn't know anything about investing. But I think now I've done like triple that. And I just started like last month. So it's good because now I have an emergency budget, emergency fund. I have my budget down. I have, a list of the things that I spend. Same thing as a budget. I don't know why I said that again. But I think the first thing is, to educate yourself. I'm, happy that I had a friend that I could say, okay, I know nothing about finance. Where do I start? Teach me, guru. So that's where I started. And then he has sent me a lot of links, and I can follow up on those links. And then if I have questions from that relate to my particular situation, or I have a more specific question, then I can go ask him for more insight.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So you're going to be a guru now? Okay, not like a guru. Okay, so
that.
You said you've learned a lot of things, resources at this thing. So I just have one question. If, based on everything you've learned so far, if there's like one thing that I feel like it's important that you think everyone should know, but for some reason they don't know, or you didn't know before you started, like maybe one thing, you can say if you have two things, that's fine, but one thing it's...
For someone to know about finances?
In general, like managing their finances, personal finance, anything is there something that stood out to you and you're like, I should have known this. This is something I should have been taught.
I think something that I'm going to give like a couple of answers. The first thing, I think I knew this before, but it just didn't register, is that you can start small.
Yeah.
Like you don't have to have 100K to start investing. You can start small. If you're earning like 2K or something, like start small. Also, what else did I learn that I wish I knew earlier? I think I wish I knew about investment earlier, because I was just saving the money in a bank. I was getting 1% interest.
Let us talk about Dutch banks.
Well, it's crazy, right? And I think I wish I knew how easy it was to get into investment and how helpful it is in the long run, definitely. Because, and I wish I knew how to think about investing. Like, I always just saw it as this. I think for me, another divide was that I was like, okay, investing, that's all those traders, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to trade. I don't want to look at, oh, are the stocks going up? Is it going down? What do I do? Do I sell? Do I buy? And no, investing is not about that at all. Like, that's trading, and that's completely different. So that's something I wish someone would have told me earlier on so that I could get into investing. What is another thing that I wish I knew earlier on? I think maybe it's those two things. Yeah, you can start small, and also trading and investing are completely different. And you should start investing as earlier as you can. Yeah.
So that's like the most
I think that's the
important
thing that stood out to me.
I do agree with you. I think also people don't really like understand the idea of investing. They see investing as something like rich people do.
Exactly.
I feel rich people. So this is rich people's problem.
Honestly, when people are like, oh, I know, I have Google stocks, I have, I don't know, Tesla stocks. Like, I cannot relate. Even though I still can't relate because I'm just dipping my toes in. But it's nice. I mean, you can dip your toe. If you buy one stock, like, that's still something. And you can earn, I don't know, 50 euros or something. It's still something. It's more than you would have if the money was just sitting somehow.
And right now, are you like investing like in individual stocks, or you're diversifying by investing in a fund?
I think my knowledge has not reached that side.
Okay, so...
But I am investing, not individual stocks, ETFs.
That's a fund. So that's my fund. Yeah. So basically what I was trying to say is, so there's types of investment. Okay, not two types, but let's just say, let's keep it simple. Don't let us complicate it. So you can either invest individually in a stock.
Yeah.
So I think this only happens if you're like someone who is very knowledgeable, or
like a pro.
Yeah, or you have like, you are passionate about something.
Yeah.
So for example, maybe you're passionate about the environment or something, and then there's a company that is maybe building, for example, in the beginning when everybody started building like EV cars or something like that, you could have invested in one of these companies. I'm like, I'm passionate about this, I see the future in this, or something like that, individually. Or the persecution is, you're like, you know what, I don't have energy to do all this research. No, whatever is happening in the future, I don't care. Yeah, it's like, I don't care. But instead, I'm going to give my money to a fund that invests in all these companies together. So if something is happening to one of them, it doesn't affect because it kind of like balances out. That's basically what I was trying to say.
Yeah, I think the second one is definitely
I am. I'm very partial to that as well.
Nice, because I am, at this point in my life, and I'm just starting out with investing, I feel like I'm very low risk.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, okay, what is the least thing I can do?
Yeah.
So I don't want to, I don't have the bandwidth to, get that knowledge about investing in pro companies. Like, okay, Google is going to do well this year. I'm going to do research about Google. I don't have the bandwidth to learn about that yet. So at this time, I think the thing for me right now is diversifying, as you said, in funds. And right now I only have one, actually, just S&P 500. That's the only one.
Do you know
I'm doing right now?
I studied corporate finance.
Oh,
and
nice.
Yeah, one of the courses I needed to do was investment. And they did teach us how to invest. But then I remember my lecturer then saying that, yeah, you've learned all these things, but the best thing you can do for your money is put it in a fund.
Okay. Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if you look at like an 100-year, like, what they call it, charts, the fund always outdo like the other like individual stock. Or just like, if you look at it like from a long-term perspective, and when you're thinking about investment, don't think about it like, oh, I'm putting 500 here and then get like 700 or something. You have to have like a long-term view. Like, you have to have like a more holistic view, like when it comes to investment. And then you also mentioned that you save. Would you say you invest more than you save, or you save more than you invest at the moment?
At the moment, I when we say at the moment, Seth, what does that mean? Okay, but at the moment, I am, even though I said earlier that I am not being aggressive with my investing yet, but I mean that in the sense of, I'm not going to be high risk with my investing, but I do want to be aggressive with my investing. I am investing everything.
So you're not saving anything?
No, I am not saving anything.
You don't
have
No,
but that's what I said. Like, I already I have an emergency fund.
Okay.
And I have a budget, and part of my budget is because that's another thing that I was confused about. Because I'm like, okay, me, I like to enjoy, so I don't know how to be frugal.
Yeah.
And then my friend was telling me like,
That's not how it works.
exactly,
Yeah.
like just whatever makes you comfortable, just put it in the budget and put a number to it.
Yeah.
Put it aside. It's not about being frugal and
Yeah,
saying,
exactly.
okay, I'm gonna eat 1 cup of rice for this entire week. No, it's not about that. So I have a budget.
Yeah.
Work in progress, but almost done. I have a budget. I have my emergency fund, and at the moment, I am investing everything else.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, so I am being very aggressive, especially because I'm a young babe.
Yeah, I think you have age and time.
Exactly. So I am investing. I'm investing very aggressively at the moment.
Okay. And you did mention like you are budgeting.
Yeah.
And this is an interesting question actually. Okay, wait, before I go that, I want to first go back to your emergency, what they call it, fund.
Yeah.
How did you calculate what you need?
Again, I will say that my friend was like really helpful with this part, because that was another thing. I thought that I needed to have like complete, I don't know, like 20K or something in my emergency fund. But it was just like, think about all your necessary expenses for a particular number of time. Like if you want it to be 3 months, if you want it to be 6 months, if you want it to be a year, just look through your bank account, think about the expenses that you do, think about the necessary ones, things that you absolutely cannot live without. And then that calculate it in a month, multiply it by
the number of months
you want, and that is your emergency fund. And luckily for me, I had that amount already. So I was like, okay.
You didn't have to do anything.
I didn't have to do anything because I told you like I had been saving. So I was like, okay, I didn't have to do anything. I just put it in a separate bank account that I could easily access. I mean, I could easily access it before, but now I just like hid it actually. Like, no, because I think it's very helpful. Like,
oh wait, where did you hide it?
Bank. And when I say hide it, I mean like I literally just turned visibility off so that I don't see it.
Oh, because when you like hide it, I thought like it's like one of those apps. How in Nigeria they have, is it Piggyvest?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I love Piggyvest.
Where you can lock your money. I'm not sure if we have something like that in Netherlands yet. I don't know.
No, we do. I'm pretty sure we do. On Bank, I think you can also lock your money in certain, like you have to maybe have Easy Bank or Money Bank or one of those promotion, whatever. But yeah, I think you can lock your money as well. And yeah, that's not what I did. Because I don't want it to be, oh, I have an emergency and then I need to get this money, and then it's like, no, you cannot withdraw until next month.
I was going to ask you, so you spoke about like you decide like which how many months you want to save for and stuff like that. So which month did you end up deciding for? How many months?
I think I did for 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a good safety net to have.
Okay, and do you mind if I ask you what your total expense each month you thought, like after you did your calculation?
I think it was about 2K every month, which is like my budget for, I don't know, gifts to give to my friends or going on solo dates for myself. What else is in my budget? I think I didn't put gym for the 6 months, but I put therapy because if there's an emergency, I obviously need therapy. So that is important to me. And yeah, so it's about 6 months, 2K every month. So for 6 months it is 12K
every month. Yeah, that makes that seems like this thing. Because do you know, it's interesting you say that, because most of the time when you like read online or something, they tell you, you only need to save for 3 months or something like that. So people always think it's like a hard like 3 months or this thing. So it's interesting that you mentioned like.
I think some people even do like a year or something.
Yeah.
And maybe if I have like extra funds or something, I might do a year and just be like, okay, have
a year, and you know that at least you're sorted for like 1 year and you don't need to worry again.
Exactly.
Okay, so this is something more interesting. Before we go to the interesting part, what is the most important thing for you apart from your normal bills?
Yeah.
So that you feel like in a month you need to spend money on, like what in your budget now was like, you know, you said you don't want a situation where like I'm drinking a cup of noodles or tea. I can't remember how you said
like
it earlier. Yeah, just rationalize this thing.
Uh-huh.
So for you, what's like that thing that you're like, yeah, this is important to me. I don't care what anybody says. It has to stay in my budget. So tell me.
Yes. So if there was something that was absolutely non-negotiable for me, I feel like a smart answer would be to say therapy or something. But I honestly just think it's flowers.
Really?
I get flowers for myself every week, and they really brighten up my day, and I really enjoy that. So I think that's something but then that's like not a lot, it's not a lot of money. But if there was one thing that was very important to me and that I would like to keep doing, I think it's my flowers, to be honest. Like, I have a section for it specifically.
You wrote flowers.
I literally, I wrote flowers.
Interesting. What tool are you using for your
My God, I'm just using shit, so Google shit. Google shit.
It's part of it. As long as, the thing is, you don't need the fancy tool. As long as it works. I use an Excel sheet. As long as it works.
The fucking ball.
As long as it works, just use it. Okay, so this is going to be the final thing I'm going to ask you. What would you say is the biggest thing you've spent money on so far that you feel like, I don't have any regrets, I love this? What's the most expensive thing you've spent money on so far? You don't have any regrets, you love it?
Yeah, definitely. Maybe my trip to Italy.
Actually good. But I just feel like, let me just check again and go.
Yeah, I have no regrets. Okay, I have some regrets because I feel like I did too much and I should have taken it slow and rested a bit more. But yeah, I have no regrets. I would 100% do it again. Don't care about the expenses. It was a 2-week trip and I explored several parts of Italy, so many cities.
Yeah.
But I loved every single moment of it. And that's why I talk about it any opportunity I get to. So I think that's something that I don't regret and would do again.
Nice.
Nothing else comes to mind.
Nice. Thank you for coming to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Before we go, we're going to play one game with you.
Let's go.
It's called, rapid fire, if I'm not it. Okay, it's not rapid fire. It's like this or that, but I'm going to call you rapid fire.
Shoot.
Because I don't want you to have time to think.
Okay.
So I'll ask you
I just call it smash or pass.
But I'll ask like 5
maybe
things. I'll ask you 5 things.
Yeah.
So first one.
How do you want me to answer? Like, is it?
I'll ask you
words?
this or that. So like this or that. Like, would you rather do this or that? And then just say the one you rather do. This. That.
Okay. Go ahead.
So this or that. Dining in or out.
In.
Real estate or stocks. Investing in either real estate or stocks.
I haven't learned much about both yet, but both.
You have to pick one. This or that.
With my current knowledge, maybe stocks. But I don't know if that's better or something, but right now. So.
DIY investing or financial advisor?
Advisor.
Travel luxury or travel budget?
Luxury, always, baby. Always.
Big city life or countryside living?
Neither. Small town living.
You have to pick
I know that's what you mean by countryside. Okay, it's rapid fire, so I should not add.
You don't have to explain, so you can do everything.
Yes, small town, small city, all of that.
Okay, so you're the first guest on my show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, ideally you should have a question waiting for you. But since you're the first guest.
A question? What do you mean? Like I should have a question to ask?
There's this thing that I want to do where everyone who comes on the show gets to sign this book.
Okay.
And then you write, I think I saw it on another show actually, and I was like, oh, this is good. I'll adapt that.
Right.
Yeah. So you just write like a statement or a question for the next person that comes on the show.
Fun.
Yeah. So I will try not to look at it while you what you write. I'll just open it.
But you're not the next person. It doesn't matter.
I know, but I want it to be a surprise for both of us.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So
should I do something finance related?
So like finance, money, or something. So it can be a question or a statement, whatever you want to know. So you can just sign on one side and then the question on the other side. You can use the full page.
Okay. You want me to sign
your name and this thing like, Zainab was there, something
sign
cute.
Here and
write
a question
here.
Can I add emojis?
Yes, please.
Yes. Sad face emoji. You're gonna love this question.
Let me say it. I don't want to see it. Okay, I don't want to see the question.
I think you should see the question. I think it's a nice question.
I don't want to see it. I want to read it and be like, oh, okay. Interesting.
All right, go ahead.
Yes. And it's a wrap. Thank you for coming. And that's Zainab and Maryam.
Do you have a name
first episode? Finance Chat with Maryam.
Okay.
She came to my show without knowing whatever it is about.
To sign out?
Yes.
Hi guys, so it is a wrap with our very first episode of Finance Chat with Maryam. My name is Zainab. Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure talking about investing and finance and all the good stuff. I think this conversation is definitely something that a lot of people should have very early on, and I'm so happy to be here. And I hope to be back here with more knowledge sometime in the future. And yes, do not forget to like, subscribe, share, comment, interact with this video wherever you can on whatever platform that you see this on. And yeah, just have fun, stay safe, have a lovely day, whatever, wherever you're doing this, wherever you're watching this. And yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Bye.